All right, y'all. I'm talking today about a topic that is near and dear to my heart. I do not even do reaction videos. This is my very first one. But this guy by the name of Christopher Williams, him right here, oh my God, literally the worst Married at First Sight participant since the beginning of the show. And anybody who knows me know that I watch the show and I have to take a break because I get so stressed out. But this man here has drove me to do a reaction video, y'all. Literally the suckiest Married at First Sight man I have come encounter with. This season, season 12, we're talking about it today on Tori Talk.
Tori Talk. Who got the tea? Who got the tea? Yeah. Tori Talk. Who got the tea? She got the tea. Yeah. Anything you need to know. Tori Talk. Just tune into the show. Tori Talk.
All right, y'all. So, like I said, this Chris Williams II. First, if you guys have not been watching Married at First Sight, I don't even know if you're like living under a rock or something, but this has like transcended just my regular, me and my friends watching Married at First Sight. Like, this man is making news. He was legitimately on Wendy Williams, I think it was, last week with his foolishness. I mean, there's so much we can say. Again, if you haven't been watching, you're going to get some spoilers today because I'm going to talk to you about Chris and Paige. All right, y'all. So this season, right, if you don't know anything about Married at First Sight, how it goes is there's a couple who they don't meet until the day of their wedding day. And, you know, for me, I get so vested in the couples, especially the ones that I like. I mean, no shade. I love the black couples. So, of course, this is why this Chris and Paige nonsense is irritating me so bad, right? But they meet, and they meet on the wedding day, and then they go through, I believe it's like a 6-week full program where it's an experiment where they got to live together and they get married. And if they break up, they actually have to get divorced. They can't just separate. So there's a lot to it. And, you know, it's a lot that gets packed into a short amount of time, right? So you get it. It's like, okay, it's going to be drama. They don't know each other, right? This man, Chris, is another level. And like, I think it was 2 seasons ago, maybe 3 seasons ago now, when they were in Charlotte. And I thought that some of them men on that season were bad. But no, Chris has literally taken the cake. If you read articles, they're referring to him as the worst Married at First Sight husband in the history of the show. Why is it always my people that come and break everything? Like, why we gotta mess up a good thing? I digress. But anyway, so this Chris Williams II, right? He comes on this show. And from the first time I seen him, I was like, you know what? He gonna have some shit with him. And the reason why I say this is I have this, I'm not gonna really call it a theory, but it's kind of like a mantra that I kind of live by at this point. I do not mess with anybody named Chris or Brandon. And for the Chris's and Brandons out there, if you trigger, I'm sorry, but y'all know y'all not shit. But this particular Chris is the worst. And I already was kind of side-eyeing him because of that. And y'all can say I'm hating, but I have dealt with bad Chris's and Brandon, so this is why I just steer clear, right? So he come on the show, and we all like, okay, cool, you know, black couple, this is going to be good. We get to see, you know, the young lady Paige, who he's ended up going to be married to, and she seems like, you know, a nice lady, like really there, you know, for the to be a part of the program and really give her all. When we first see him and he finally sees her and it's like on the wedding day and all that, this man opens his mouth and pretty much says that he is not attracted to her and she's not the type of woman that he dates. Now, again, one of my craziest feelings about being on Married at First Sight is that you never know what you're going to get. And if you're a very visual person, I do not understand why you're going on this show. Because if you only want to mess with somebody that you seem quote-unquote attracted to, then you don't get to see them until the day of the wedding. But, all right. There's absolutely nothing wrong with Paige, by the way. She is a beautiful woman, successful, super sweet lady. Chris is just an ass, which is what I've been saying. So that's kind of when we first get to see him. And you're like, all right, well, he's maybe just not attracted to her. I'm going to give him a chance, right? Fast forward. Now they on the honeymoon. And honestly, there's other couples, but these are the only two couples that you really need to follow because they just a hot mess. And on the wedding night, you know, they always joke about whether you're going to consummate the marriage on the wedding night. And now this man who opened his mouth and said that he is not attracted to her had sex with her like 3 times after telling her, had sex with her and then told her that he wasn't attracted to her and he was only having sex with her so that he could build the attraction. I'm sorry. Anybody who's ever had sex, that don't even make no sense. Now, he can say he didn't love her. Maybe he didn't think she had a cute face, but something on that woman attracted him to have sex not once, but like 3 times. I think this is probably episode 2 of this show. So, all right, you like, okay, this is a little weird. I'm still trying to hold out hope that maybe he's going to be all right. And that's on my fault because I know better. But where we're at right now, like I think it was episode 3, this man found out that he has a baby on the way. Now, this is not necessarily a big deal because everybody has, their own private lives and they, experience different things for coming on the show. But what makes this so interesting is that the person who is pregnant or allegedly pregnant or whatever is 6 weeks pregnant. Now, with the process, especially right now with quarantine and everything that was going on, they started, their process a bit early. And they go through a very rigorous screening process, or so they say. But it's a lot of people who I feel like slip through the cracks when it comes to this married at first sight stuff. But this man has been messing with who he says is his ex-fiance. And that now she's pregnant. And now Paige is faced with the situation of, am I going to stay with this man because now we're married? Or am I just going to break up, right? But poor Paige. Honestly, it's like she's went through so much stuff in I think it was 7 or 8 days that most people don't have to experience in years of being with someone, let alone being married to someone. And this man has pretty much now, we're at the point now, fast forward, he has had sex with her multiple times. On the last episode, Paige talked to Pastor Cal, and Pastor Cal asked her, have you guys been intimate? And was it protected? And Paige ass gonna say no. I'm like, look, I know everybody had that thing, but you've known this man for 6 days. And I'm not shaming. I'm just saying, why couldn't you use a condom with this man? You don't know nothing about him. And it's COVID. I'm trying to be the most careful I can be right now. And it's I get that this is your husband and you really want to, fully get into this process. But again, there's still a level of you don't know this man. I don't care if you have sex with him, but it's just a level of try to be protected, right? So she do all of this. Then we find out that he wants to now divorce her. And the whole episode, we waiting to see if he's going to actually show up to talk to Pastor Kyle. And he talks to her and he talks to him and he pretty much says yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just go forward with this divorce. Honestly, I feel like every single thing that Paige has heard from the beginning of their marriage up until now, she had it out. Even the producers, Pastor Kyle, all of the experts, they gave her an out and she didn't take it as far as where we are in the episode now. And I think it's interesting. So I was looking up some stuff about this, and on ScreenRant.com, they talked to Pastor Kyle this week. And I'm going to just read y'all a little excerpt about what they said Pastor Kyle said. So they say, Pastor Kyle set the record straight on why Chris was even cast in the first place. He reiterated that the show's vetting process is extremely rigorous and takes 4 to 6 weeks to complete. Again, 6 weeks, and a baby was coming, but all right. He claimed that the experts were as surprised and pissed as viewers when Chris began insulting Paige's looks and confessed to her that he was expecting a baby with his ex-fiance. However, Pastor Kyle said that the fact that Chris was engaged only a couple months before applying to the show did not raise any red flags for the experts. Now pause. Because I'm going to say something about these experts too. When I first started watching Married at First Sight, I truly believed that the experts were truly matching people because they thought that they would be the most compatible. But in my opinion, as an expert, no matter, and this, they all have different ones. It's a pastor, you have a sex expert, then a relationship expert. You have all these different people who do different things. How do you think that a man who was just engaged 5 months prior should be coming on a show to then get married to a stranger? You wouldn't even recommend that someone who just broke up with somebody on a regular breakup after a couple months to then jump into a new relationship that's seriously with no time to heal. It seems like they say, oh yeah, we do all of this stuff and it's vetting and it doesn't seem weird. That does seem weird to me. This man was engaged and then y'all let him come on the show to get married to someone that he doesn't know. And he's barely just broke up from her. Most people be getting back with their exes after 5 or 6 months. So, all right, but that's what the experts claim. But I feel a way about that. But all right. So it says, Chris was not the first person who has ever done that, which is true. But it's still, I don't feel like they should be allowed to have somebody on it. Just like when they had the season with Iris and Keith, I didn't feel like Iris should have been able to be on the show just solely because in my heart of hearts, I didn't want her to have sex with Keith because she was a virgin. And I just kind of feel like if she would have went through that process and then had sex with Keith and then they didn't stay together, like the amount of damage that would have caused would have been worse. And that's not worth, a show and ratings, in my opinion. But what do I know? That's why I'm not a judge. Expert on the show. And then it says, Pastor Kyle said, and some people who have done that have been successful and in the fact are still married. But despite defending Chris casting, Pastor Kyle still expressed his disappointment at the Married at First Sight's groom's behavior. And of course Pastor Kyle is upset. I think everybody who's been watching the show is upset because you can have a kid and not know, but he's even gone so far at this point after insulting the way she looks. He's even said, he said a little something about the fact that when they was talking about finances, he made it seem like, okay, well, he makes more than her and she, it's like a joke. But I've been reading stuff on the blogs that's been saying that some of the stuff allegedly that he's been, his franchise that he had in Subway, he's owing the IRS and had all of this money trouble before he came on the show. So it seems to me like he came on the show to try to get paid and clearly is desperate. If of all the reality shows they have, you go on a show where you have to get married to someone just so that you can try to get a check. But, all right. It's a little weird to me. But I was so upset with him because he's not your typical kind of good guy, he's here for the process. But this last episode, I was a little upset with Paige. And I'll tell you why. Because after Pastor Kyle had the conversation and, he came, they decided they were going to get a divorce. This dude, Chris, gonna whisper over to her and say he's scared that he's falling in love with her. Paige, I know this is in the past, so I'm hoping in these next episodes that you've done this, but why are you letting this man embarrass you like this on TV? I would have been out of here and I would have been done. Because there's no way. He says that he thinks that he still wants to be with his ex and raise this, this baby with her, and he wants to do it, and he doesn't want to be, you want to get divorced, the whole nine, other than saying he's unattracted to you. Then he's going to say, oh yeah, I think I'm falling in love for you and I'm scared. And she was all giggly and acting like that was normal. How can you not see through the bullshit? That at that point, I kind of shifted from being Team Paige and Chris is the worst, though Chris is the worst, to there got to be something else going on here. Because I get that you're married, and I get that you made a vow and you want to take it seriously, but at the end of the day, you're in this relationship by yourself at this point. And then again, it's like you're in front of so many people because, you know, you're being recorded and this is going to come out. It just seems like you would have done yourself a better service if this was really like for love for you to just gracefully leave than to stay. Because now it's kind of looking like, well, Paige, why are you still here? You're trying to make this storyline work with the person who's openly said that they don't want you. So what else are you doing here? It made me look a little funny. It's like, if this was your husband of like, you know, some, you know, it's like a real thing and y'all have really been together or whatever, and you were kind of blindsided, or not even a husband, just a boyfriend, then I can see maybe you're back and forth. But this is somebody that you've only known for like 3 days at this point. You have no emotional, well, she did have sex unprotected, so maybe she has a sexually emotional like attachment to him. But girl, you grown. You know how it is with some of these men. They have sex with you today and then never talk to you again tomorrow. And you know that better than I know, I'm sure. So you can't really be making that why you stand with him. I just don't get it. But what makes this whole situation even worse is he was telling Paige it was his ex-fiance. But again, if you go to screenrant.com or you look at the blogs, they're now alleging that the baby is not with his ex-fiance. Y'all, this is crazy. It's not with his ex-fiance. It's supposed to be with like his ex-fiance's cousin. That's what they're allegedly saying. And on Screen Rant, they got this blurb from Soap Dirt. And this is what this part says. It says, a family member of Chris's ex-fiance said that his ex-fiance is not pregnant. I repeat, not pregnant. A friend of the ex-fiance, because, you know, she's supposed to be walking around, you know, saying she's pregnant, talking prenatal, all that junk. And this big girl don't have no baby in her belly, allegedly. It says, the source alleged that another woman is pregnant instead. And it says, YouTuber Janice Hilton received information from people within Chris's circle. Okay, this is Chris's circle now. And his ex-fiance's circle, that the woman who is pregnant is the reason why Chris and his ex-fiance broke up. Now, that makes total sense to me. Because I've even seen now, like, him down on one knee, the whole engagement that he did to the ex-fiance. And then you tell me y'all are engaged and then all of a sudden y'all break up. Now, she doesn't even know, according to Chris in the show, she didn't even know that he was on the show because they supposed to have had no communication. This is what he said. But then he said that they had sex and she was 6 weeks pregnant. So that whole kind of timeline was conflicting anyway. Because based on this, they probably didn't have anything, you know, to talk about and hadn't talked since he probably cheated on her. So, of course, she didn't know he was on the show. So, I think he kind of told on himself a bit. But, all right. So, it says that the plot thickens. And it's rumored that Chris's ex-fiance, her name is Mercedes, is set to appear on the hit show to clear things up. I hope Mercedes come on this show because if I don't see a big swollen belly, I'm going to be very upset, one. And I want to know is how he is in front of her. Because I feel like, you know, everybody has their, like, TV persona and they can kind of, like, figure out what they want the world to see. But this Mercedes woman is someone he's been with and someone that he was engaged to that knows him. So it'll be interesting to see how he tries to play this whole dynamic with her. Because you can't play her like you stupid, especially if you out here saying she's pregnant and she's not. And it says, the baby mama is reportedly Mercedes' cousin. At this point, the drama is intense. Paige has found herself mixed up in it. If Chris and Mercedes broke up because of the pregnancy, that means he knew the baby was coming before the show. Right. He knew the baby was coming before the show. Based on all these things that have been out here about him, it's like, look, at this point, he had some financial trouble. He already had cheated on his ex-fiance and lost her. And it was the opportunity to be on a show, and he took it. And again, I say, it's bad for him because I think he just looked like the type of dude who's going to try to let this run out as possible, as long as possible. Like, even when the episode ended from last week, he hit her with the, I think I might be falling in love with you. But you just asked her for a divorce. Like, you can't like teeter both lines. And it just seems like he said that as a way to kind of keep that little storyline going. And I think that, like, you know, we're going to see more of Paige talking to the experts and, you know, these behind the scenes, her talking to the producers to try to keep it going as long as possible. But what I didn't know, because you know, like I said, I'm a fan of the show, right? And I've always been like, some of these marriages are so toxic. Why are these people staying in these marriages? Are they trying to prove a point? But I found out recently that there is a significant fine related to leaving the show early. So when you look at it like this, I mean, again, Paige is one of those circumstances where they would actually let her out, but she didn't want to be let out, is what I've been reading, what they're saying is to come. Hopefully in the days to come that we'll see that she did leave, but it doesn't seem that way. And it's just kind of like, in my mind, Chris, why would you come on a show or put yourself in a situation where all eyes are going to be on you when you know you have so much other dirt going on? It's like a lot of people get on these reality TV shows and they want their life to be private. And they want to have all of this, like his biggest thing on the show is like he takes his mic off, all dramatic. He cries all the time. He be covering up the camera. Like he don't want the producers there to hear what he's saying. But you came on the show for everyone to watch you. It just seems odd to me. And if you got this much dirt going on, why are you going to put yourself on a platform to be ridiculed? And from like this last couple of weeks, like he's clapped back at a couple people, you know, about what they're saying. And I'm not even going to repeat it because it just sounds like a man who's been caught in a lie and now is just like grasping the straws to try to come up with something. It's like, no, bruh, no one made you go on this show. No one made you allegedly impregnate your cousin's, your fiance's cousin. Like, you did this. So now we get to see it. I do not like him, y'all. It irritates me. And I just feel like it's so common to like dating when you're young. And you get to see with some of these people, like they feel like if they're honest with you, that makes them not an asshole. And I feel like Chris probably learned that when he was younger, that, okay, if I'm honest with them and I tell her that I'm not attracted to her and I tell her that I'm about to get a divorce with her because I want to be with someone else, that doesn't make me an asshole. It's like he say some stuff that anybody asked and that nobody needed to know. And at this point, it's like, Paige, I'm hoping I'm actually going to continue to watch in anger because some of the other couples, like I do want to see, though I kind of feel like, I always say when you watch Married at First Sight that all the couples that be real hot and heavy, like the first couple days, they always like fizzle out to get into all these like crazy arguments and it always turns bad. It's normally the ones who kind of move a bit slower and like really take the time to realize like, hey, you're a stranger, but I'm going to just treat this like we're dating. Like, hey, nothing too serious. Like, let's get to know each other. Let's have a good time. Let's have fun. Let's try to, you know, work this out for these 6 weeks. They tend to do better than the ones that's night one. Oh, yes, we consummated the marriage. It was so good, girl. Oh, I love him so much. I can see why all of the experts matched me with him, or she's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I can see why the experts, all that is bullshit. Because at the end of the day, okay, you think that this person is cute, that's cool. But we all know that it takes more to a relationship than just thinking somebody is cute for it to work. So I can see some of these other couples fizzling out. So I will continue to watch. But I am so heated with this Chris and this Paige situation that I had to come on here and do this. Ugh. I'm upset myself. But I'm going to keep watching. I'm going to keep talking about it. Let me know what you guys feel about Chris. And if you guys kind of picked up on what I picked up too. I felt like, Paige, you've been given too many outs at this point to leave. And you don't got to pay no fine. And you good to go. But yet you keeping this going. Is it really because you really want to stick with this commitment of marriage to this person that you've known for like 6 days? Or are you really just trying to get on this show and enjoy, you know, the spotlight that you have for right now? And it's like, I do understand, you know, that's a lot to try to think about. But of a person that you don't know, I just can't see it. And for Chris, I wanna say something nice about him, but it's like, what is there to say? He's whiny. He think he's cute, and he is not. He has lady hips. If y'all saw the last episode when he was walking with these little jeans and stuff on, he thought he's hot shit. Let me tell you, this man, and what makes me so angry about him is that he think that he looks so good, which is why he treats her so badly. Because somebody in his life done told him that, like, the worst of the ground that he walks on, and he really walk around acting like this, and he is not. And the problem is, I think now that it's out here for us to see, me and others are really shining the light on, like, bruh, what is you acting like this for? You allegedly are evading tax fraud. You have a baby on the way, messed up your marriage on this show, embarrassing yourself and your family, and we're supposed to be swooning over you. Like, no, it's not about to happen. And I know he's going to do something else crazy this week, so I'm just waiting to see what it is. I'm hoping and praying that the next episode is just, hey, guys, Chris and Paige are no longer in this. They're not going to be in the process anymore. They decided it's for the best for them to go ahead and get divorced, and then, y'all support them. Because if I have to watch another excruciating, like, hour and a half, however long the show is, of him talking down to this woman, I can't. And I'm upset that the producers and stuff have let this go on so, as long as they have. But I get it's for the ratings, but I always say this is people's lives. And again, they did come on the show and, like I said, open themselves up to it. But it's like, at one point, when is Married at First Sight going to say, yo, we fucked up. This is our fault. And we don't care if they want to stay in the process. Like, we in good faith cannot keep them on this show. Because in the day, everybody wants to be on TV for whatever reason. So if they have an opportunity to stay, they're going to stay. I'm like, I don't like it, but yes, y'all, I'm going to be watching. I'm going to comment on it and hope y'all on team Paige and Chris breaking up on this next episode, because I have just had enough. Again, let me know what you guys think about things that we discussed, and if you've heard any, like, new tea that I haven't heard, because, again, it's ever-changing. Every day with this man is some new crap. So please let me know, and I would love to discuss this, because all I do is personally fume about this with my family and friends, so I would love to talk to y'all. And y'all don't have to agree with me, but I'm just telling y'all how I feel. This is, like, the worst, again, when it comes to the producers, when it comes to him, and how they're letting this whole thing play out. It's just really disgusting to me. I don't like it. Nope. I'm done.